He's served in law enforcement for 35 years in Washington County. Sheriff Cory Pulsipher has had the honors of being elected to the highest duty of the sheriff's office since 2011.
I'm actually in my third term as sheriff. That's each one of the terms is 4 years. I was hoping to fulfill next year the last year of this third term. But because of the health reasons and the cancer and stuff, that I'm just not capable of continuing. So
now battling pancreatic cancer, Pulsipher has issued his retirement notice effective December 16th. He was honored for his dedication in law enforcement by Washington County Commissioners and also the Utah Association of Counties.
it is terminal. So my focus is going to be on family and spending time with them and just enjoying life a little bit more and not have the stresses and worries of the sheriff's office. And I don't think I'm going to miss the job. I am going to miss the people.
Before his position as sheriff, Pulsipher worked for Washington City Police Department under contract through the county.
I was officially hired April 1st of 1987. The contract with Washington City was in existence for slightly over 20 years before Washington City decided to rebuild and start their own police department again. So I did 17 years in the patrol division, 14 of those years on graveyards because that worked out best for my wife and I and the kids. She was a school teacher, taught schools during the days, so I worked nights so we could take care of the kids and not have to pay as much for child care.
And instead of retiring after 24 years, Pulsipher moved on and was elected sheriff.
Whereas Cory's kind demeanor and approachableness have made him one of the most impactful leaders in our community for several decades, his peers, subordinates, and especially the general public have been enriched from their interactions with him. Whereas as a service-oriented person, Cory has cooked food for thousands of people at various nonprofit events like Shop with a Cop and Relay for Life. And as one of Cory's passions is overseeing the search and rescue team in our community, he has helped build this largely volunteer team into a uniquely skilled and cohesive group that provides thousands of volunteer hours annually in the backcountry of our area.
A special video which played at the meeting brought back many fond memories over the years.
Polar Plunge was a fundraiser for Special Olympics and many others. I loved working with the community, especially with children, and been involved in scouting opportunities my whole life. We started an Explorer post at the Sheriff's Office that's still going today, but always just looking for an opportunity to give back to the community.
This video was taken in 2017 when children from Dixie Sun were allowed to pick out their own pumpkins that were grown by inmates from the county purgatory.
But this gives us a chance to just kind of hang out with them and give them something. I mean, the smiles on their faces when they get to come up to the trailer and pick out whichever pumpkin they want. It's a lot of fun.
It was a blast. I enjoyed doing that. The kids loved it. And they're already talking about as soon as we can get things back somewhat to normal. I don't know that we'll ever be a normal, what is normal anymore. But that is one of the goals, is they're going to work on getting that garden going back up and being able to do that and give back again.
During his time in law enforcement, Pulsipher said the biggest change he's seen is in growth.
It is absolutely crazy to see the growth and the expansion and what's going on. Back when I first started, there were 14 total deputies for the patrol division for the entire county. Hurricane used to have one guy on, and St. George had one or two, and then one county guy, and that was it for the whole county. We've now got 172 full-time employees. The jail went from the old jail that was a 90-bed facility to this new one. I shouldn't call it new. Purgatory is actually over 20 years old, and but it's over a 500-bed facility.
And while a lot has changed and new buildings have been constructed, despite the increase in population in the county, he said the local crime hasn't increased that much.
The jail population for local inmates and stuff has not quite followed the same trend of the increase. I mean, it has gone up, increased crime and what's going on in our communities, but the incarceration rate and different things have not followed the same trends as that we're seeing in other areas.
What do you account that to?
Good people, good community.
And another positive change over the years was the introduction of canines into law enforcement.
I actually handled the canine back in 1991. So we've had canine units off and on throughout my entire career with the Sheriff's Office. A lot of it just depends on the administration and the decisions they make. I'm very supportive of them. They offer a lot of benefits.
The process of choosing a new sheriff lies within the County Central Committee to hold a special election on a new appointment to take over Pulsipher's duties as sheriff. In the meantime, Nate Brooksby was appointed by the sheriff as undersheriff to begin shouldering his new responsibilities.
Well, I'm sheriff until after the special election, when they nominate the new replacement. That'll be November 30th. And then once that individual is sworn in, I think it should be that first Tuesday in December, then that will be the new sheriff-elect.
And when asked what he'd like to see his lasting legacy as, this is how he replied.
I love Washington County. I love this community. I grew up in Washington City. I'm a local Dogtown boy. If you want to go back that far to where that acronym come from. But the thing that I've always wanted my career to be is that I've always fought for my employees. Make sure that I've always been able to provide them the best wage, the best benefits, everything they can to do the job, to make sure that they're taken care of. The employees of the sheriff's office, but even the whole county, is the number one asset that this community has, is our employees. And I hope they understand and realize that, and want to know that that's what I fought for more than anything, is to make sure that they had what they needed.
In Washington County, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.